How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of Manga Mondays. Now, I know this is on the Podcast Addy Variety Show feed, but this is a new addition I'd like to give. If you don't like listening to the hour-long live streams, then here you go. Every week, it's just going to be me talking about manga that I have read recently, something in the anime community I didn't like, or just something small that I don't want to dedicate a whole segment to on the show. And this week, I want to talk about Mei Chan's daily life. Now, I heard this on a TikTok video where a guy was talking about how there was a live action movie based off a manga and it dealt with scenes of body mutilation, sexual assault, a lot of very, very gross topics. And of course, me being a horror fanatic, I was thinking, okay, I'm definitely going to love this. I'm going to love something that is so gory and gruesome because I am a torture porn fanatic. So something like this obviously has my attention right off the get. I looked up where to find it, and it was about roughly 50 something chapters. I was saying, okay, so it's got a good story to it. If it's got 58 chapters, there's got to be something in there that catches my eye or at least makes me want to stay for the entire thing. Come to find out, none of it did. None of that story caught my attention whatsoever. There was no it's a baseline story of a slave who, no matter what happens to her, she can get cut up, she can get blown up, set on fire, cut into pieces, organs ripped out of her. The normal gore stuff. If it happens to her the next day, she's right there. She's back in action. Again, a great basis for a horror story. Like, I love the concept, but it falls flat in so many aspects because each chapter is just a new way she gets killed. She gets torn apart in this one. Next one, she's fully alive again. Like nothing ever happened. She remembers it. Obviously, it's not one of those she dies and then doesn't have any recollection of what happened the next day. No, it's she dies. That happened yesterday. What new adventures await me today? And you can only read so much of that without getting any like real detail into characters or anything. Because Mei Chan is just this innocent girl that gets tortured and killed and assaulted. You get so little with these characters, like her slave owner or her master, as she likes to be called. No baseline beyond she's just a torturous cunt. That's her only characteristic throughout the entire thing. You don't get why she likes to torture Mei Chan so much. You don't get why she finds it so enjoyable. It's just she likes to torture Mei Chan. Boom. Finite. Done. Dunzo. You wanted more? Fuck you. You don't get more. You know why? Because you don't need more. You're here for the torture porn. And usually I'm for that. But if you're going to give me 58 chapters of this, I would at least like some story that doesn't bore me half to death. It got a story at the end. Towards the end of the story, I'd say midway through, she meets a boy. It couldn't be, if I could give a good estimate, about 12, 13. And this boy has the same powers that Mei Chan does. Except the difference is, Mei Chan, whenever she gets hurt, she is like a normal human being, takes it and feels pain. Like, ow, fuck. This hurts. This hurts. God damn it. Why am I being endured through? Like, this is painful. The little boy, on the other hand, enjoys it. He gets off to the pain. Again, a great concept for a story, but they fucking fall flat trying to explain it. So you see scenes of this little boy getting tortured. His family jewels getting stepped on, and it's a very weird story. There's a lot of lolicon shit in there, so I wasn't too happy about that, but I read past it because I'm like, if I'm gonna read this, I'm gonna finish it. It was weird, but it was one of those like it was a degradation kink is what that ended up being. So you would just watch scenes and scenes on this, like it grosses you out, which I don't like. Diving more into this, I have found out that was a story made to just kind of gross you out, and it's like it really didn't gross me out. It bores me more than anything. So towards the end of the story, and this is spoilers, if you do happen to want to go read Mei Chan's daily life, if you do, more fucking power to you. But towards the end of the story, we find out that Mei Chan is pregnant. And we get this scene of her talking with her owner saying, should I get an abortion? Should I kill the baby? Will the baby even die? Because obviously her powers and then her and the other boy, they both have the same powers. So would the baby even die? Lo and behold, we don't figure out a motherfucking thing about it. Not a single thing about it. Why? Because they do that at chapter fucking 75 and it ends on 76 and it finishes with Mei-chan, you have a customer, get prepared. That's how it ends. We don't know nothing about the baby. The last thing we see of this baby that is born, that, mind you, it's not born like pop out the baby highway born. No, it is like cut open from the stomach, ripped out born. It's that type of story. And there's so many gross scenes that I don't feel comfortable talking about, that I don't want to put out there into the ether. Like, you can go read it yourself and be grossed out. But my problem is not the gross out factor, because I've read a lot of gross out shit. So this really doesn't phase me in the gross out. It's the story. There's none. The story is so 13-year-old sitting in the back of the class writing the most edgiest thing he can think of story. If you can put that into your brain, that's what that is. That's really all I can say about it. I would love to give you more detail, like the art. The art is kind of okay. It's not the greatest. You can tell what's going on, but you can tell somewhere that the lines kind of just got, well, yeah, fuck it. Fuck it. It exists. We're not going to put too much work into this because we know it's a fuck around project. It's not a real project that we want to put time and effort into that's going to get any commercial attention. Why would we want to do that? So you could tell some lines were kind of fucked off, and the shading was definitely their last priority on their mind. So that's just the manga. I would love to say that I am just giving a generalization. That's the entire thing. She gets sold off to customers. Customers fucking torture, rape, and in the end kill her in almost every single chapter. And it's rinse, wash, rinse, repeat the entire story. So then we go to the live action movie, because obviously if I read the manga, I want to see what the live action movie was about. The live action movie is 10 times fucking worse. I didn't think, obviously an anime to live action movie adaptation, it's going to be bad. I haven't seen one that I really thought was good. I seen one that was like, okay, Gantz, it did okay. Wasn't great, but it did okay. This movie, I shit you not, in one of the scenes, we are seeing Mei-chan and the newest slave hired in. You see the top of the set, like where the set is made, you see the lights hanging above it. And the camera guy doesn't like be like, oh fuck, we're doing this, and pan down a little bit. No, he sees it, stays there for a minute, and just kind of like, it just stays there the entire scene. And the blood is not even realistic. It's the strawberry jelly look to it, where somebody gets stabbed and it's just like it doesn't spurt out, it doesn't come out, and just falls out. The guts, you can obviously tell they're sausages. It's the laziest prop work too. This movie had to have been made on a $500 to $1,000 budget at best, and most of that was probably spent on the effects that they used. Just the eating the eyeballs, the ripping the guts out. That's the most that had to have been used on this movie, which is sad. Because I'm a B-rated horror guy. I love me some cheap horror, but that's cheap horror where even I'm like, wow, that was awful. That was terrible. You people sat there in the editing booth and thought, this is a fucking banger. This is real exact to the story. Which the only thing they got correct with the story is not much, because they ain't got much to deal with. The only thing they got right was Mei-chan doesn't die. Mei-chan, things happen to Mei-chan. She gets hurt, but she's okay in the next scene. That's it. That's all they had to keep with the story. And that's the only thing they kept with the story. Beyond that, it just ends after an hour. An hour of wannabe torture porn, of a wannabe snuff film is what that was. Like if you're gonna do a snuff film, if you're gonna do like a wannabe snuff film, at least try and make it entertaining. I know that's hard. I know that's a weird phrase to say. If you're gonna make a snuff film, make it entertaining. But for people that watch gore and like that kind of stuff, you know what I mean. And this missed its mark by a country fucking mile. And that blows my absolute mind that they could fuck something up like this. So, overall, because I don't want these episodes to be gigantically long, I want them to be maybe 10, 15 minutes tops. Mei Chan's Mei Chan's daily life, two, 2 out of 10. Two out of 10 is like the best score I could give it, and that's just because I got to give it something. I can't just send it out to the ocean and be like, well, sink or swim. I got to give it like a little pool floaty, like when you stick it on your arm, just kind of like, there you go, survive. Sharks around you, have fun. But this will be the next one. I can't tell you what it is because my reading list changes so much. So I will catch you next Monday with another episode of Manga Monday. Have a great night, folks, and as always, keep your balls clean.